Hi everybody, I thought I'd just do you a quick video on my fish tank, maybe talk about fish stock. I don't know if you see this little fellow here, he's a green chromis. Now when we first had the other tank, we had 6 of those green chromis, and he looks like he's got glaucoma going on his eye, he's so old. Now for the first 18 months, 2 years, they showed quite nicely as a group of 6, and then all of a sudden there was only a group, there was 2 together. They paired off, and the other 4 were sent to Coventry. There was 1 in each corner of the tank, and the male wouldn't let them feed until they starved to death. So when you go to the fish shop, they'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Other things I've had in here is Antius that won't feed. Obviously you can get them to feed. Now you can see these little yellow-tailed damsels here. Bought 6 of those. Now if you can see all the tank there. There's 4 left. There's 1 here, there's 1 in here, there's 1 here, there's 1 at the other end. They're spread out, they've got like 2 for each. They are the most aggressive fish in the tank. I put them in last, as they say in the books, because they're so aggressive. When I've got my hand in here, the only fish that bite me or nip me are those yellow-tailed damsels. They're all spread out. They're not arguing at the moment because the top of the tank is open because I've got some food up there. It's feeding time. If you can notice, I've got these crappy bloody galleon in the tank, and it was really to give the bigger fish more accommodation. Now, you need to think about how big your fish are going to get over the next 10 or 15 years of you having the tank. Now they're all pretty friendly, apart from this idiot. I would never recommend getting a clown tang. He's the one that fights with his reflection all day long, and he's the one who argues with the other fish when they start to get a bit hungry. He's the one who's a right pain in the arse, and the tank is quite a mellow tank apart from him. He's here all day long. I came down the other morning and I thought the lipstick had disappeared, and you know how you get fish disappear. Now he was inside this bit of the galleon, which was up this end, and he was arguing with the Lamarck. They as they're getting bigger, they're arguing about accommodation, which is why I bought the 2 galleons to increase the sleeping quarters, which is what you've got to think about. I like quite a bit of swimming space in the tank. That's why I haven't got it piled up with rock. But they're all pretty friendly, but they're getting quite big now, and the bigger they get, the more room they need at night time. Because the Lamarck, he's quite fat, quite bulgy. So don't go just buying loads of fish like they tell you at the fish tank. You need to do yourself a stocking list and put them in the tank in the order of stocking. And if you look at their aggressive levels, they've got it all in the books how aggressive they are. And they do say you shouldn't have more than 2 tangs. I've got these 2. The only thing that's disappeared in the tank since putting the trigger in is the crabs have got less. There's still 1 in there. I think they might have just died off because I have had them for a long time. It's all pretty mellow in the tank. It's all a bit stirred up because of this guy here, blue cheek goby. He stirs everything up, but he stops the algae building up anywhere in the bottom of the tank because he's constantly stirring the bottom of the tank up. There's still some bristleworms in there because it's all living rock in here, and you will always get bristleworms living underneath the rocks. So try and keep your rocks, the big rocks, perched up on other rocks so there's free space underneath. It stops the build-up of detritus under the rocks. You're always going to get it. But this was just a quick video on stocking, really. Now, that if the lipstick, this guy and the Lamarcks do say in the book they can grow up to 9 inches long over a period of, believe it, 35 years. I think the bicolour is about adult size now. And the cleaner wrasse, which has been in there about 4 years now. A lot of people say they have trouble keeping him. He likes to feed on a lot of algae. Now I buy blocks of frozen food, the big blocks, rather than buy the little blister packs. You buy the big blocks and then you chop that up into the size you get in the blister packs, and then keep that in a big Tupperware thing in the freezer, and then you've got different food to give them, and it's, in the long run, it's a lot cheaper way of doing it. And especially with us all being on lockdown, I found a shop which isn't local, but I can buy those big slabs. I use brine shrimp, either with garlic or without, mysis, superbia, krill, superbia, and krill, oh, I can't think of the other one, the smaller one. But then you've got a big variety of food for all the different fish. And I have the little frozen fish and mussels, which I chuck in there every now and again. I feed the anemone. But as you can see, it's all pretty happy in there. I'm just about to chuck some food in. You can see them having a nosh. You have a scan around the tank. I don't turn my pumps off at feeding time, because if I didn't, it'd all be at one end of the tank. As you can see, they all get spread around. They're all pretty happy. So I feed them 4 or 5 blocks of frozen food. I spread that out over 2 or 3 feedings, and I feed them a bit of flake. And I'll show you this actually while we're talking about fish and feeding. Let me just turn the camera again. Right, now you look at these algae pellets. If you buy this from the fish shop, £10.49. Now this, if you buy off the internet, this is 120 grams, this is 300 grams. If you buy that off the internet, I think that was, I want to say £15 or £18 or something, but that is 3 times as much. Just buy off the internet, and don't buy your flake in the shop. Buy this stuff here. Costs virtually the same as a little pot you buy from the fish shop, but this is, oh, what's the size of this one? I buy this off the internet. It's about £15, I think, and you get 4 times as much as you get buying from the fish shop. Use the internet, especially now we're in lockdown. Anyway, any questions on the fish tank? Ask away. Ping me some messages. I don't do much maintenance, but this is only all stirred up because of the fish food and and they've all stirred the sand up. Anyway, cheers, guys.